Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. As you know, we've got a new guest on the show every week, somebody important in the community. And this week it's somebody more important than normal here, as we've got County Commissioner James Gohagan. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy.
Thanks for having me. I've always wanted to be on this show, so it's pretty exciting.
We paid him to say that, by the way. So, and I mean, when I say you're busy, you got a busy job. You're a county commissioner and everything, but you got a big growing family and everything too. You got a new little one, right?
Little Arthur, yeah, he's 2 months old. He just kind of got over the colicky phase, so that's nice. And
I'm still going through that, by the way.
Yeah, you are, okay. Yeah, he's eating like a little milk monster, so he's doing good.
Greatness, man. So is he your only child, or you got more?
I have 4 children, Aiden, Iris, James, and now Arthur.
Okay. So you got a whole basketball team going there, huh? Pretty
Maybe
close
pretty
anyway.
Soon. Yeah,
absolutely.
Great.
So you're a county commissioner. You've been there for what, 2 years, couple years?
Yep, 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that has been a tumultuous time. You kind of were swimming upstream. You were like the only guy in the mix there that wasn't going with the flow.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of the Lone Ranger for a bit. But, you know, looking back on it, there was things I wish I would have done different. But just like anything, you know, respect is earned, not given. So I think I've earned it now. We passed a lot of sweeping changes in the county. Got the deputies paid, passed that Second Amendment ordinance, you know, basically said that churches are an essential business. You can't close them for any reason. You know, we went through a lot of different ups and downs, and now it's kind of on the nice and steady, which is great. Yeah. Ike's coming in, Rochelle's coming in. I'm really excited to see what they'd both do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're no stranger to Camden County. I mean, you're a native son, right? You grew up here.
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life. I went to Springfield, Jeff City for a little bit, but you know, this has always been my home. I love it here. There's, especially our culture, there's really nothing like Camden County anywhere in the world, in my opinion. You know, we've got a very proud, defiant people here. Our land is beautiful, you know, our lake, awesome. And that's what draws a lot of tourists here.
Yeah, yeah. So growing up here, has it changed a lot from when you were a kid? I mean, you're not that old of a guy, so it's not like, you know that long ago, but it seems like it's been growing really fast the last few years. So has it changed a lot from when you grew up?
You know, for me, it's been kind of incremental, nice, steady growth. So to me, it doesn't seem like very fast growth because I've seen it. You know, I remember when South 5 was just 2 lanes and it was very, you know, dangerous. Yeah. And now you've got the bypass and stuff like that. And some of those things, you know, are nice to see. It's easier to get to Lebanon, but for me, it's just been slow growth, slow changes. I'm sure if I lived somewhere else, it would have seemed like, you know, a massive explosion, but no, it doesn't seem like bad growth.
Right. It wasn't that long ago when you had to go through Old 5, go through the middle of Camden, the city, the town square, you know, to get to the other side. And that wasn't that long ago.
Right.
So it's pretty amazing. So you're in politics. You're a Camden County Commissioner. Have you always wanted to be in politics? Is this something you have always wanted to do, or did you just at some point decided you needed to jump in?
No, I didn't actually. It kind of originated with whenever the stuff with Modine and the trichloroethylene contamination. You know, I was such a vocal person in that. I got challenged. I hate to do this, but Phil Morgan, the city attorney, he said, well, why don't you go into politics then? Why don't you try and make a difference from the inside? And I'd never been, nobody had ever said that to me, so it's kind of like a challenge, and I said, okay, I will. Yeah. And then...
famous last words.
Yeah. So blame Phil Morgan if you can't stand me.
Well, there you go. So you were involved in an issue, and this issue was such that it got you so involved you decided to run.
Well, actually, it was COVID that
Yeah.
that brought me into running. I didn't like the way it seemed like the current government was operating under those restrictions, and I thought now is probably the time for me to step up. I was personally challenged by a lot of my friends. You know, they said, "You need to do it. You can do it. You can win." So it was nice to have that faith in me.
Yeah. Were you surprised that you were able to win? I mean, not being a politician and really not knowing how all that stuff goes.
I put in a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, and I did a lot of door knocking. I was up against a 16-year, incumbent.
Yeah.
I only had like $2,800 to my campaign. So I was told very early on, buy 4 or 5 pairs of shoes and wear every single one of them out. And by the end of the summer, I definitely had done that. I wore every single one of those walking shoes out, door knocking the lake.
Just going house to house, and it obviously worked for you. Won that election.
Yeah, it was. That. So was I surprised a little? But then I knew I had put in or I felt like I had put in the work for sure to win the election.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you like most about being a county commissioner? Is there anything in there you like? Or
Oh, definitely. Serving the community, having an impact legislatively is nice. If I have I alluded to the Second Amendment. We were the first in the state to pass that, and it kind of caught fire with other counties, and then the state eventually did end up passing it. So it's nice to be able to have that type of impact and voice and change. You kind of have a platform as a little bit of the face of the county. That not a lot of the other politicians really get that pulpit like you can have.
Absolutely, the bully pulpit. What do you like the least about being county commissioner?
When I see things that I know are definitely being done that are wrong, and then you try to work inside the system to change those. A lot of times, I know I was elected to be a reformer, and that doesn't always happen when people are set in their ways and they don't want to change.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's painful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That can get frustrating, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking with Camden County Commissioner James Gohagan, who's joined us here on the Spotlight Show. We'll have more with the County Commissioner right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Loring. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all.
Join Lake TV for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris. Enjoy local stories, local sports, taste the lake, hometown heroes, and more. Have a cup of coffee with Will and Chris, weekdays at 8:02 a.m., 1:02 and 8:02 p.m. on Lake TV.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. We've got Camden County Commissioner James Gohagan with us. I just said Cohagen or Copenhagen or something like that. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Okay.
Totally fine. Everybody does.
Does that ever happen?
Oh yeah. Well, funny story is all my friends and family really call me Justin.
Really?
And then I'm known as professionally. Whenever I was doing insurance, you had to use your real given name, and so I went by James for the latter part of my life, and it's always given me an identity crisis, I guess.
So your family calls you Justin. Okay. Nickname or?
Middle name.
Middle name. Okay.
My dad was James. So he was called Jim because his dad was also James, and now I've got little James.
And since we're tight, I call him Jimmy G. There we go. Absolutely. Okay. So now I understand you got like a really cool hobby that I'm kind of jealous of because it just sounds like so much fun. Where over the years, and I think you've done this pretty much your whole life,
Yeah.
you've gone out arrowhead hunting,
Yep.
right?
My uncle, Jeff Gohagan, kind of got me into this when I was a kid. Just real easy, walking a plowed field or a creek and looking at rocks,
Yeah.
just walking the creeks, walking the fields, looking for rocks that, you notice a little bit of a working edge on it. And, it's probably 1 out of 100 times going out, you'll find a really, really, really nice piece. And yeah, it's been a great hobby to have my whole life. Something I've always had to fall back on when, times were tough.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, I have a huge respect for the Native American culture and the way they lived, it felt like they were pretty much in harmony with nature. And I really, really have always been drawn to that. Artwork is what I would say the artifacts are. To me, it's art because some of them are just made so beautifully.
Yeah, and so do you just do that? You go arrowhead hunting just around here, or where have you gone?
I've gone all over the state. There was actually a point in my life where I had saved up money to where there was about a 1.5 year period where I basically followed the Missouri River.
Really?
Yeah, and went all over the place looking for arrowheads.
Wow. So did you camp out like along the river, or
Sometimes,
did you,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we'd camp out, find little cave shelters, and go camping in there. And yeah, it was a fun time.
I bet it was. So where is in doing all of that and traversing Missouri? Is it all in Missouri, or did you even go other
No,
places?
it was all strictly in Missouri.
Okay.
I didn't want to leave the state.
Right.
We got up there near like St. Louis, like the Cahokia Mounds and the Graham Cave area, but that's about as far as we got.
Where was your favorite place that you came across that you're like, wow?
Oh man, I don't even want to tell you. Okay, there's a place near Jeff City. I'll never forget the day. I was with my friend Drew Woolfolk, and I was done because I had just gotten beat all day. I didn't find anything, and he had like 4 or 5 really nice pieces he found. And then we went down. I think all I found that day was just a tiny bird point. And then he was like, let's check out this Honey Creek. So we went down there, and right underneath this bridge, I saw probably the biggest blade I'll ever find. It was about a 7-inch Adina Dixon point.
Wow.
And I think I sent you a picture of that it's got the biggest and smallest arrowhead I've ever found on it.
Wow. Oh, so then that was just gorgeous. So you got a lot of that, and then along with the finding the arrowheads and stuff, you're just out in nature, and you're just kind of.
It's a good hobby. I
Yeah.
mean, it's cheap, healthy. Can't say enough about it because they're going away. You're not. There's only a limited number of those artifacts that you can find. And it's gotten harder and harder over the years. I remember going into a creek as a kid, and there'd be arrowheads everywhere. But
Really?
yeah, it's not like that anymore.
Wow.
A lot of people have gotten into it and collecting them.
Well, and in this area, as we've found out, I mean, it's Osage. This is Indian country right here. This was, a lot of Indian activity around
Oh
here.
yeah, Osage, Cherokee, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 7-incher is your favorite artifact that you ever came across?
It's probably my favorite because I didn't want to go. I was done for the day, and then he drugged me to it, and I was like, wow, I'm so thankful you did that because I would have missed out on a really, really unique piece.
So County Commissioner James Gohagan, are you going to run again? Are you planning on continuing?
Yeah, I feel like I will. There's still a lot of things I feel like I talked about reform-wise that need to get lined out, have to get lined out really, especially we're going through an audit right now. We had a new system that switched over in 2018. We're trying to figure out if back then we were doing it the wrong way and now we're doing it the right way or what. So that is one thing I'd like to focus on going into the future is making sure all aspects of government are functioning normally.
Okay, there you go. County Commissioner James Gohagan, thank you so much for joining us here on the Spotlight Show. Thank you for serving the community. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.